Hi everyone, I'm Delilah aka Assassina-san. Welcome to my channel. For those of you who've been here, welcome back. I'm doing another video review. My first one was on Ghost of Tsushima, and I played Code Vein, which was a 2019 game, but I played it because it was part of my backlog. Thank you, Travis Moody of God Hates Geeks, for providing me with that, which was provided to him by Bandai Namco. But it doesn't matter because I didn't get it for review. Someone else reviewed it. Anyway. So yeah, I'm playing this in 2019 and I had a lot to say about the game, so I decided to review it. The reason why I decided to review it is because I really liked it, but I do have a lot of criticisms, especially coming from someone who really likes Souls games. I'm a big fan of Dark Souls, Sekiro, Bloodborne, like all From Software titles. And I do like when other creators kind of look at From Software's combat style and apply it to their own game, kind of like how Jedi Fallen Order did. With that said, I don't think every game needs to have Souls combat, and I wish there were less games that were adopting the style of the Souls games. I love From Software games, and I think it's pretty phenomenal that there's so many other titles out there that are considered Souls-like. It's almost like Dark Souls created its own genre, or sub-genre rather, because it is a action RPG as its full genre, but then there's games like Jedi Fallen Order or Neo or Code Vein that have taken the combat style of Souls games and created this like subgenre. So it's kind of cool. But with that said, I don't think that every game does the Souls genre justice. For example, Lords of the Fallen, but we won't get into that. And I do think that I don't want so many games to adopt this combat, because at least for me, this kind of game I need to have in spurts, and I do want to play all of the Souls-like games because I do love them and enjoy them. But to play a Souls-like game so often kind of takes away from the allure of them. So if I'm playing like Dark Souls and then all of a sudden Sekiro comes out, and then I have Mortal Shell that came out recently, but I had Code Vein on my backlog, I'm not gonna want to play any other Souls game for a few months because I'm gonna want to miss that kind of style. So I will be doing some comparisons in this review of Code Vein to From Software Souls games, specifically Dark Souls. Oh, okay. So yeah, Code Vein was marketed as a anime Souls-like game, and that's exactly what it is. However, it does have some unique spins to it, and there are some elements of the Souls games that I really enjoy that I feel Code Vein could have took from, but didn't, and I feel like Code Vein would have been a stronger game if it did adopt some of those Dark Souls elements. So let's be real, Dark Souls really not a story-driven game. You're not playing a Dark Souls game because you like the narrative. Sure, Dark Souls has lore, but you're really playing it for the combat and for the environments. And so one thing about Code Vein that I feel like they could have taken from Dark Souls is the details in the environments. For example, every location in Dark Souls looks extremely different. There is not a single place that will look like another area. Code Vein does have locations, and they look different from one another. For instance, there's a ruined city, there's a city that's under a desert with like yellow skies, there's a mountain full of snow with like pink skies, there's even a town that's in flame that looks like Nibelheim after Sephiroth descended into madness. This all sounds good on paper when you're actually playing the game. There's reused assets like fires, broken cement, these thorns that are coming out with some illumination on them. And there's not really much details in the environment. The textures are very poor. They're almost PlayStation 2, early PlayStation 3 kind of quality in the environments. And it's a shame because part of the Souls games that I really like is exploration and seeing how unique each area is and looking at all the details. This game didn't really have that. I could have maybe overlooked that element of it if the world was connected like it is in Souls games. There's nothing more relieving than finding a shortcut to the main hub area like the Firelink Shrine, or maybe looping around and finding a shortcut to a missile that you rested at before that'll allow you to access an elevator to get closer to a boss. Code Vein did have shortcuts that you unlock, but it just wasn't as satisfying. And I think that's because you couldn't be in a specific area of Code Vein and then look across the horizon and see an area that you already conquered, which is something that I really enjoyed in Souls games. So if Code Vein's world was more connected, I probably would have vibed with it a lot more. What really saved my exploration of Code Vein is they have a minimap, something that's not in Souls games. And so in the minimap, you'll have footprints, you'll have item markers. So if you miss anything, you'll see it glimmering on your minimap and you can go to it. And there's also percentages when you rest at a missile, so you can know if there's something that you missed. And I really appreciated that. And I kind of wish in a way that Souls games would do that. Code Vein really needed this because when you're exploring a specific location, everything looks the same. Even the NPCs make fun of this when you're exploring with them. They're like, oh, everything looks the same. Where do we go? And I felt like that. I was like, I don't know where the hell to go because this looks like the same corner that I just explored 2 minutes ago. And it was really hard to enjoy exploration when there were no environmental indicators to tell me that I explored this area already or that I'm exploring a new area. I basically had to look below me to see if there were any hidden ledges to proceed to the next missile or to the next area, the next boss, or maybe to a like hidden item. Other than that, everything looked the same and it was really boring to explore, especially this like bootleg Anne Rolando place. So even though the textures and environments are lacking in Code Vein, what it does excel in is combat. It doesn't just use the Souls combat and copies it, but it actually puts its own unique spin on it. Code Vein is a lot more flexible when it comes to classes. In Dark Souls, you'll be forced to choose a build, whether it be a strength build, a dex build, a magic build. In this game, you can kind of mix and match. So what it is you have NPCs in the game and they all have amnesia, and when you meet them and help them in their journey, you'll have to restore their memories in something called vestiges. And then when you restore the vestiges, they give you something called a blood code. So in the blood code, you'll have a number of abilities anywhere between like, sorry, Bruce wanted to join us. The abilities in these blood codes will have different things like magic attacks like fireballs or frost balls or electric honing missiles or some kind of like venom trap, or there'll be buffs like increasing attack power, increasing defense, magic defense, regular physical attack defense, or you will get super cool like 3/ super strong abilities that you can execute. The thing about these abilities is you only get a limited number of times that you can use them, and they can be restored by either killing enemies or attacking the boss or by resting at a missile, in which case they'll restore all of the abilities. What I like about this is not every single ability fits every single build, so there is strength build and dex build and magic builds, but you can mix and match in between. So you'll select a specific blood code and you won't be able to use a heavy weapon, but you'll be able to use certain abilities that'll make you dodge faster or something like that. I always go strength build in these kind of games, and so what I would do is with my strength build, I would make sure to increase like my attack power, but I couldn't use all of the blood codes when I had my heavy sword equipped. So you can mix and match it. You can change it on the fly. I mean, you don't ideally want to do it in the middle of a boss fight or a battle because you will get hit. Like a Dark Souls game or any Souls game, you can't pause the game. So yeah, just make sure that you're going into a fight prepared with whatever build you want to have. And it's really flexible in that way. And I think in that way, Code Vein takes a unique spin on the Souls combat, and it's very good. It's a lot more forgiving than Souls games. I know I'm constantly comparing it to Souls games, and it's just kind of, whenever I play a Souls-like games, I can't help it because of how much I like the Dark Souls and Bloodborne and all those games. I think that I like when games look at the From Software games and take their own unique spin, but I also feel like there's certain charms to the Souls games that maybe games that are adopting this kind of style could benefit from adopting. And so Code Vein is super unique in that it looked at Souls combat and made it flexible and made it so that you can have a freaking heavy sword and then throw a fireball if you want to. I mean, you could do that in Dark Souls too, but the magic won't be as strong if you're like going for a strength build. In Code Vein, all of the magic is strong. All of the abilities are strong as long as you have the right blood code equipped and as long as you dedicate the haze to the ability so that you can max out its proficiency. Or you can have it equipped and it'll max out just by killing enemies. You're not locked into anything. You can change your strategy depending on the boss. Sorry about that noise. My cat is bugging the hell out. Right, my other cat, Raiden. This is Bruce. I just really like how flexible the Code Vein combat is. And it's a lot more forgiving. Missiles are generously placed. You'll have NPCs that are super OP, like almost like summoning someone into the game, which you could play co-op in this game. I haven't done it yet. I might do it for like my 3rd playthrough because you need to play it 3 times to get the platinum, and I definitely want to go for it. Which, by the way, I'm going to do a full playthrough of my 2nd playthrough, the bad ending, the here ending, on my YouTube channel. So definitely stay tuned for that if you're interested. And then maybe my 3rd playthrough, I'll see if I can do combat, and maybe I'll write in the comments here what my combat experience was like playing co-op. But yeah, the NPCs are super OP. If you die, they'll give you their health so that you can revive. They hit strong. They're not really dumb. They won't stand around and do nothing while you're in the fight. Like, they'll always be attacking, sometimes to its demise. Sometimes the NPCs maybe could back up when a boss is about to do a super AoE attack. Sometimes be like, Yakumo, get out of there, you're gonna get hit. So after the AoE attack would happen, I would have to go in and like take the aggro off of the NPC. But they're really strong, stronger than any other Souls game I played, even Souls-like games. And I really like that. The enemies are really easy to kill. You're not gonna have any traps like you would in Sen's Fortress of Dark Souls, or there's not too many enemies that sneak up on you, and there's no enemies that one-hit kill you. Maybe some boss abilities, but that's about it. Yeah, Code Vein's a lot easier than most of the Souls games, all of the Souls games. So I feel like if you're intimidated by the genre, this is a good starting point. Well, actually, maybe Jedi Fallen Order is a little better, but you would have to up the difficulty to like Jedi Master or something like that to feel what a Souls game's like. And even eventually get so OP that doesn't feel like it anymore. But yeah, I do feel like Code Vein is a good entry point into this genre because it is more approachable. The boss fights aren't as much of a puzzle as the Dark Souls games, which I personally don't like. I prefer to find a boss's pattern and exploit it or exploit their weaknesses. And although bosses do have weaknesses to be exploited and you can kind of try and figure out which abilities work best against certain bosses, they're not as much of a puzzle as the Dark Souls game. In Code Vein, you'll basically fight bosses that do AoE attacks that will cause debuffs like slow or inflicting venom or something like that. And you're spending more time trying to figure out how to avoid that as opposed to figuring out which is the best way to approach the boss. So like some bosses, it's better to stay right under them and attack them from behind or from underneath. Some bosses are weak to fire. I prefer figuring out a boss as a puzzle instead of like, oh, there's this AoE attack, I gotta make sure I'm fully healed, or I have to make sure I run away. Which does happen in the Souls games, but in this game it's kind of like the main element to the boss fights, which I don't particularly like. And sometimes the hitboxes were a little hard to read, but it wasn't that bad. The boss designs were pretty cool, but a lot of them had big anime titties. So overall, the combat's really good. I would prefer that the bosses and maybe some of the enemies required a little more strategy, but it's still a solid Souls-like game. What Code Vein does super well is the character creation. It's one of the better character creations. You can make your animu husbando or waifu. There's so many options, like you can make your hair two-tone, there's so many hairstyles, there's so many skin tones, there's so many eye types. You can make one eye look like a cat and the other eye look like a galaxy. You can there's like different colors you can add to the eyes and the hair and the skin even, or the accessories. You can equip multiple accessories or just one accessory. There's a few outfits, I wish they would have had a little more, but you can customize the color and you can remove certain aspects of the outfit to make it look a little different from the base outfit. You can change the height of your character. You can change the breast size of your character, which, yeah, Code Vein is all about them anime titties. Maybe they put more detail into the jiggle of a breast than they actually did the environments, but whatever, that's okay. Most people are fine with that. Anyway, yeah, there's even like some festive things that you can do with your characters. There's like Halloween accessories and there's Christmas accessories. And so I really enjoyed that. But one thing that I really loved about the character creation is that they had super, super duper long hair, which is something I always want in character creation because I have super long hair. You can't really see it in the video, but yeah, it's really long, longer than I could reach in the camera. And I want that to like maybe make a character that looks like me or that has long hair like me. And the reason why games don't often have long hair options is because long hair is really hard to make look good in a game. And it shows in this game. Like the long-haired character, her hair would like cut through her outfit, or when you were going down an elevator, it looked like stringy and weird. It was very unnatural. I mean, not every game can do like Square Enix level of hair quality, and this game definitely didn't, but I still like that I can have super long hair. So thank you, Bandai Namco, for giving me that option. So yeah, the character creation, super cool. Your character will look awesome. All the characters look pretty cool in this game. I mean, it's an anime styled game, so, you know, insert anime character and it probably looks like a cool anime character. Anyway, so speaking of your character's a silent protagonist. There's no personality in your character. You'll just be the one that has these abilities to save this apocalyptic world. You wind up in a ruined city and you see there's revenants, and revenants are kind of feeding on humans, but there's not that much humans, so there's kind of like a lot of rampage going on. It's like super sci-fi anime story. It's a decent storyline. It has more story elements than any of the Souls games. I like the sci-fi apocalyptic setting of Code Vein, and some of the NPCs seem to have potential to have rich stories, and there were some moments that seemed like they should have been heartfelt, but they just weren't. And I think the reason for that is because most of the characters' stories were told behind the vestiges when you restore their memories. Memories, vestiges, like they're almost interchangeable in this game. So you're restoring a character's memory and you're going through this area with still images and dialogue and really depressing music, and you'll have to walk really, really slow through these memories. And they're so boring that I wound up skipping the last few. Maybe the last like 30? No, less than that. But yeah, they were really boring. I feel like it was a lazy way to explore these seemingly interesting characters' memories. I feel like a lot of those moments could have been a lot more heartfelt if they put the resources that they put into anime titties and also the resources that they put into the intro, which was a really well done animated intro. I feel like if they would have used that kind of animation in these flashbacks or exploration of memories, then the game would have been a lot stronger, and I feel like it would have made a lot of people's like lists of favorite games of 2019, because it's Bandai Namco. You have the resources to do cool anime cutscenes. Why not do it for these characters' memories, which really tie into the main story, because there's not many cutscenes outside of these still memories. So I feel like it would have been a lot stronger of a game if they would have included the same animation that they used in the intro for these characters' memories. I don't mind that they do that sometimes, but I feel like for some of the more heartfelt memories, an animation would have been better than these still moments. So overall, I really liked Code Vein. I thought the combat was strong. It was a unique spin on the Souls-like games. I liked the flexibility of the class systems. I feel like the exploring wasn't as fun. I wish the locations were a little more connected, and I wish that there were more details in the textures and visuals of the environments. I wish that all of the NPCs' memories or flashbacks would have been showed in animated cutscenes instead of still moments. That would have made me more connected to the overall story, which had a lot of potential being in an apocalyptic sci-fi setting. I really liked the character creation. I really liked how cool the characters look, and I liked that this combat was a lot more approachable than Souls games. I feel like not every Souls game needs to be hard, and I feel like it's good to have games like Code Vein that will kind of help people gain comfortability with the genre if they're interested. Overall, I think if you like Souls games and you like anime titties, you're definitely gonna like this game. Anyway, thanks for watching this review of Code Vein. If you guys have any thoughts on the game, feel free to share them in the comments. Once again, the only way I'll know if you like these reviews is if you like them and comment on them. Subscribe if you are into all the other stuff that I do. I saw that you guys really liked the Ghost of Tsushima review, which is what motivated me to do this, so I will keep doing them as long as I know that you guys are into them. And hopefully I'll feel motivated to do it for the next game that I play, which I don't know what it is. Anyway, thank you all for watching.